Hello, my friends. I'm Sam Hardesty, a certified life coach, and welcome to the Authentic Entrepreneur Podcast. Hey, what's up, everyone? Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Authentic Entrepreneur. Today, we are talking about planting seeds and not necessarily the gardening kind. So currently, I'm actually in Florida in like the Naples area, Bonita Springs more specifically. And we are here, my husband Ian and I, and our two babies, our fur babies, Vesper and Stormy, our two cats. We're here for an entire month. So from like mid-January to mid-February. And I just okay, so right now I'm sitting in the backyard on the lanai. You probably in the background can very faintly hear the pool fountain going on. It's a beautifully blue, gives me the vibe of summer's day. I literally want to say summer's day and I have to remind myself, no, we're in winter time. But being from Ohio, as many of you guys might be, it's normally cloudy right about now. And I'm looking out at palm trees and beautifully potted plants and a beautifully blue pool. And I'm just sitting on a squishy, big cushioned chair in the lanai with a blanket on me because it's in the morning, and we're just hanging out. And this is something that, as I was just reflecting the other day, that how cool is this? That we are to have the opportunity for an entire month to just relax, to just do whatever we want to do. So I kind of wanted to talk today about planting seeds and realizing that you have to start somewhere in order to get where you want to go, right? So something I would always say with the podcast is you have to have episode 1 in order to have episode 100, right? So this is the same thing when it comes to these big kind of long-term goals that we might have. And when you think about planting seeds, you plant the seeds, but you don't get to harvest right away, right? You don't plant the seeds and then by dinner time you go out and oh, look, a whole zucchini. Yum. It's not how that works, right? You have to wait in a whole season. You plant, you water, you tend to make sure there's no bugs on the plants as they grow, make sure that the soil is nice and strong in nutrients. You make sure that they don't go out in the cold too soon and early on in their life, right? All these things just so that one day, many months down the road, you can harvest. And I realized this is what I've been doing for years, planting seeds. And I want to first say we are also very privileged in the sense that we have the opportunity to stay at a family member's home. So we technically, no, we don't have to pay for rent, right? When we're out here traveling. So in that capacity, this is very, very privileged. Not everyone has an opportunity like this. So I want to say that first. But after that, to take an entire month off, I was realizing even in that way, people work corporate jobs, even as an entrepreneur, people have responsibilities. They have things to do, people to see, right? To take an entire month is almost unheard of in society unless you're retired, right? And I was talking to Ian, and we talk a lot, But about like retirement, right? We see so many people in society, and this is a very normal thing that, okay, you work all the way until you're like 65, right? Plus or minus. And then you'll have enough money to enjoy life. And I hate this thought. I hate this thought of you have to work for almost 80% of your life in order to have fun, the remaining 20%. But notably, that remaining 20% is historically your worst physical condition. So the things that you may have wanted to do when you were younger could physically be impossible to do by that age. And that really just, I don't know, I guess that thought just really got to me and made me really start questioning, what am I doing with my life? Like, how am I taking ownership of every moment, of every aspect in my life, so that not only can I live a fun life now, but so I can also live a fun life then, when I'm older. Hey guys, I wanted to speak real quickly into what it's like to coach with me, to work with me. This is something that I get asked often, and I just want to put it in here real quick. Coaching is different than a therapist, which is different than just chatting up with a friend. So with a life coach such as myself, there is no prep work. You just show up, right? There's no homework. You don't have to worry about doing things after the session. This is us sitting together, whether it's in person or over Zoom, whatever you prefer, and essentially sitting together and looking at your brain, becoming more self-aware of why you're doing what you're doing so we can create sustainable habit changes. After a few sessions, I promise you will start seeing results in how you are working, how you are thinking, and this will create the results you are looking for, promised. So with that being said, I'm actually offering one free session to try me. To try coaching with me. So use the code TAE, short for the Authentic Entrepreneur, and in an email, just send me an email at sam@samhardestycoaching.com. That's sam@samhardestycoaching.com. And in the subject, just say free coaching, TAE, and let me know more about the results you are looking for, and let's get that scheduled for free. There is 100% zero sales pitch at the end. It's literally just me offering this up to you as a free resource. I want to see you improve. I want to see you get better. I want to see you become that next version of yourself, that better version of yourself, and I am here to help you with that. So feel free, please use this offer, this resource, a free one-on-one coaching session with me. Use the code TAE. Send me an email at sam@samhardestycoaching.com to get this scheduled. I will see you guys then. Now back to the podcast. So working for yourself is really fun. Fun and scary and awesome and nerve-wracking and thrilling and anxiety producing. But when you work for yourself, when you're an entrepreneur, you get to make up the rules. You get to decide how you want things to look like. You get to decide everything, period. And with that in mind, I realized how many decisions I was making unintentionally. And there were many steps along our entrepreneurial journey that has got us to a point where, we're mobile, right? So if you guys listened to episode 1, you knew that Ian and I actually did van life for some time, right? Well, through that process, we made sure that our business was mobile. that we could work from anywhere. Any type of, I don't know, in-person thing we had to do, or any aspect of our business where we couldn't be mobile, we stopped doing it. And with that aspect, so that was, 4 years ago, we made that decision. That decision has allowed us now to still remain mobile. And as we're adding on business, we keep that as a value in the back of our mind as we're continuing to make more businesses, which we do. And I shouldn't say make more businesses, but even just grow our businesses currently. We always make sure that our time schedule is flexible, because for us, our time is the most valuable thing. How we spend our time is so, so important to us. And when, like, us working for ourselves, it's just provided so many opportunities, right? We get to create our time schedule. We get to decide when we're done with work. We get to decide when we want to start watching TV throughout the day, right? But with that also comes a lot of responsibility. When do we work? How do we make money? When do I connect with clients? How do I provide more value? When do I take on more training and education? When do I say I need to do better? Right? That's all on us as entrepreneurs. And I don't know, I think reflecting back this week, like, I would never change it for the world. I've learned so many lessons. I think I've become such a better human over the last few years, because as an entrepreneur, to be a successful entrepreneur, you have to constantly be improving yourself. Why? Because you are both the gas and the brake of your business. If you want to grow more, that's on you. If you're in a place where you don't want to be, that's also on you. But that's the most exciting thing about the whole thing of this, is because everything is on you. You are in full control, which is the most beautiful thing, I think, out of entrepreneurship. So I was realizing last year that there was some decisions that, we were making unintentionally, right? I started saying this and I got sidetracked. And I'm reading this book right now. Oh gosh, I'm totally blanking on what it is. It's so good though. Talking about us being in a comfort crisis. So we're all comfortable. We do anything in our power to avoid uncomfortability, right? And in order to go to where you want to be, whatever that goal is in business or in life or in relationships, whatever you want to do, you have to be uncomfortable. Because in order to get to where you want to go, you have to do things you've never done. Hey guys, I wanted to pause real quick and offer you guys access to my monthly email newsletter. This is something that I send out monthly. There's no every other day email. It's literally just once a month email, but it gives you a full recap of everything that I am up to, everything that I'm doing, all of my offers, my podcast, my YouTube channel, any community events that I'm participating in or that I think are just super fun. You can learn about my Let's Start group coaching program. You can learn tips and tools monthly to help you also self-coach. So this is a free tool for you guys. Feel free to sign up, please, on my website at www.samhardestycoaching.com. That's Sam Hardesty, HARDESTY coaching.com. Thank you so much, and I hope to connect with you there. And this is where I realized I was failing. I was trying to stay comfortable all time, at all points in time, while somehow trying to grow my businesses. And as an entrepreneur, some of you are like, wow, sister, that's not how that works. 100%, it's not how that works. You can't be comfortable and grow. Why? Because our brains are not wired that way. Our brains are literally wired to stay comfortable. Our brains prefer the comfortability of the known rather than the uncomfortability of the unknown. And truthfully, the unknown could be comfortable, but our brains say it's not, because that's how we're wired. That's how we are taught to stay safe. So things that helped me get to this moment. One is prepare. So like I've been alluding to, is you have to make decisions that get you to where you want to be. And also on the basics is you have to clear your schedule. You have to start saving up money, maybe. You have to decide that this is what you're doing. Like, if I said, oh yeah, it'd be so great to be able to spend an entire month out in Florida and just hang out by the pool and read books all day, whatever, like, and then I just left it there, it's never gonna come to fruition, because you have to prepare for that. Get it on the schedule. Start prepping for, okay, what work do I need to do now in order in order for those projects to be off of our to-do list by the time we leave? Or what do I need to prep for now so we can work on it while we're in Florida mobilely, right? We all have to prepare and then decide. I think is such an important thing of this preparedness of, achieving your goals. Decide. You have to freaking decide that this is not just what you want, but that you are going to do, that you are striving towards. Anyone can say, oh, I want to make $1 million, right? But until you decide that that's where you're heading, your actions will not follow. And this is something that I see so often in so many of my clients. Is they're like, oh, I want this and this and this and this. It's like, okay, well, what are your actions saying about that? Do you actually want that? Are you actually taking action toward that? The answer is no. You're not deciding that you want that. You're just thinking you want that. There's such a difference. So for many of you, those that know, I do CrossFit. I think it is one of the most well-rounded physical fitness exercises, I guess, or what do you call them? Categories? I don't know the correct term. But anyways, the most awesome thing you could do if you just want to be a well-rounded, physically fit human, okay? Personal opinion. So that was something that was like my old me inside my brain that was concerned about. It was like, Sam, if you're going to be gone for a month, how are you going to work out? How are you going to push yourself? What are you going to do? Are you just going to become a vegetable and just do nothing? Because old me would do that. Old me would, if I didn't have someone telling me what to do, I wouldn't do anything. I would not push myself. And that's where new me, after making decision after decision that fitness is a priority to me, that going to the gym is a priority to me. Now I'm here in Florida. I'm still working out. I'm still doing things that I personally generally don't enjoy doing, like running, right? I have been running notably like under a mile. Like between 7.75 and 1.5 miles in the morning. And I've been doing this each morning essentially to get my way to the gym. There's a gym inside the neighborhood complex that we're in. And I work out. I actually pull up the workout of the day that my CrossFit gym is doing back at home, and I try to scale it. I essentially like, okay, if I don't have a bar, how can I scale it? How can I find tools that get me the same results of the workout, but do it in a different way? And I'm doing it. And I'm finding fun out of doing things that I don't enjoy. Why? Because I said I was going to do it. Because I identify as someone who works out. I identify as someone who values their physical fitness. And I decided that this is what I do. I work out. This is who I am. I decided. Now, it's taken me a while to get to this point, and I've also hired a handful of coaches along the way that have totally shifted my mindset in so many different capacities, including my physical fitness, and my nutrition also. So shout out to those coaches. And this really brings me into that next point of how we got to spending a whole month in Florida. Consistency is creating a plan and sticking to it. This is something I see often is they're like, well, I did this thing for a week and I haven't gotten the results and right? Okay, well, that's not how results work. You have to do things consistently in order to get the results. And with this, like, you have to enjoy the journey. You have to value the mundane, the everyday to day things. I created this like mock content calendar thing. Okay, here's everything I need to do for Same Hardesty coaching this month in order to be, sticking to my deadlines and just achieving the goals that I want to achieve long term. Here's what I need to do each month this term, right? And it's freaking a lot. It's like every day I have to do something. And I can notably move things around. Like I choose that flexibility. That's something that I personally desire. And like when you can just do what you say you're going to do, you create this plan and you do the plan, the results are inevitable. They will literally come to you. Why? Because you scheduled it that way. You literally created a plan. And this is something like in the beginning of my physical fitness journey, I was like, okay, I had a really healthy meal. Did I lose 5 pounds? The answer is like, no, obviously. It's like, well, shit, then why bother? Right? Well, no shit. That's literally not how that works. So next point of how I got to a month in Florida is finding joy in the journey, not the destination. This is, if I could like bestow any wisdom onto my listeners, it is literally this. And it is finding joy in the journey, not the destination. We've all heard of like a destination mindset or a journey mindset, or probably more specifically, you've all heard of a growth mindset, right? So think of a growth mindset as someone who enjoys the journey. Think of someone, a lack mindset, as someone who is striving only for the destination. So when you are striving to get your results, like that's your only priority is, did I get this result? Did I get this to the destination? Did I achieve this goal? You're not focusing on the day-to-day stuff, right? Your brain is so closed down, so focused on something so specific, you can't take a step back and look at all that's around you and say, oh, actually, this thing could help me get to this point, and that point will lead me to this other point. Like, you can't do that if you're so close together in your brain. So I see, and truthfully, like this was me with my physical fitness journey. I had this destination. Okay, well, when I reach X amount of pounds, then I'll be done. I'll be satisfied. I'll be happy. I'll fit in the clothes that I want and I don't have to worry about things, right? Well, through switching to a journey mindset, a growth mindset, I'm like, oh my gosh, working out is actually a lot of fun. Moving my body, seeing what it's capable of doing is actually so cool to witness. And now, like, I don't even think of that result, that end goal. Because what I used to do is, okay, it was X amount of weight, and I would get to that weight, and I'm like, oh, yay, I'm done. And then I'd gain it all back. Why? Because the destination, that goal was hit. And this is also another cue is pay attention to what your goals are. How are they worded? Are they worded in a growth mindset way? Because the thing I learned is I'd hit that weight goal and then I'd gain it all back. And I'd be like, oh, why do I have to do this goal again? Right? I've pivoted now to, having goals that are more along the lines of just maintaining following my protocol, eating in the ways that are best for me, moving my bodies that are in the ways best for me. And by doing that, I'll always get the results that I'm looking for because I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, right? So something I hear all the time is when do you know if you're into, if like your gut is, how am I wording this? Like whether your intuition is, hang on a second, guys. This is my words are mixed up. Essentially, if that gut response is that your intuition talking to you or is that fear talking to you? Okay, that's what I was trying to say. Is that gut response? Some people are like, well, am I doing this out of fear or am I doing this out of my intuition? Like this, I'm being propelled to do it, to do this thing. So here's my answer to that is, are you in a rush? If you are in a rush to achieve a result, that's your fear talking. If you're like, I'm cool with this, whatever happens is cool. Like this just feels like the right answer to me. Like this is my knowing. This is who I am. This is what I want to do, whatever. That's your intuition speaking. And why do I bring this up? Is because so often a lot of these planting of seeds or like, and grow and now and I'm ready, right? And we're not focused on the fact that that's actually just fear talking to you. So when you have like this huge deadline, you're like, it has to be done right this second, right now. Like everything has to happen in this moment. That's actually a huge cue to your brain to take a step back and get curious. Ask why. We get so caught up in societal expectations and sometimes our own expectations or fears or worries about so many things that we don't actually stop and ask ourselves what we truly desire. Why do we desire this thing? Because a lot of the times people will say, oh yeah, I want to do X, Y, and Z because they're taught to do that or they're conditioned rather to do that. But if you're like, okay, I need this thing right this second, and I see this so often in clients that are wanting to lose weight, they're like, okay, I need to do this by the end of the month. It's like, but why? Oh, I need it fast. I need to do it now. And the thing, and I was one of those people. I'm not trying to speak out of turn here. Like that was me. But now it's like, okay, well, if this was a lifestyle choice meaning you had to do this for the rest of your life. If this was a lifestyle choice, incorporating it into your identity, into who you are, how would that change your actions? How would that change your thoughts about doing this thing. And that shifts so many people's mindset. And at the end of the day, as a coach, like, I want you guys to create the most sustainable habit changes as possible. And that is achieved through preparedness, through consistency, through finding joy in the journey and not the destination. And at the end of the day, remind yourself, guys, planting seeds, you don't harvest right away. You first have to water, then tend to, so that one day you can harvest. And when you harvest, you'll be ready. Why? Because you were prepared. So I'm going to leave it here, guys. I know this was a compilation of many thoughts, but I'm sure there's some juicy nuggets in there for you guys. Let me know if you guys have any questions, if there's certain topics that you guys want me to speak into. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a fabulous week. We'll catch you later. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Authentic Entrepreneur Podcast. I hope in between the words of this episode, you found more of your authentic self. It would mean the world to me if you, 1, like this episode if you learned something new, 2, share this episode with a friend who you think needs to hear this, and lastly, 3, to follow and subscribe to this podcast. I want to hang out with you more. Don't forget to tag me on Instagram, send me a DM, wave hi, whatever floats your boat, all at Sam Hardesty Coaching. That's at Sam Hardesty Coaching on Instagram. And hey, look at you go, learning new things, becoming more self-aware and shit. Absolutely crushing it, my friend. Thank you so much. I love you. And until next time, stay authentic.